Good evening. As you know, we already made the round cylinder with its feeding canal, and I forgot to mention that under the feeding canal we still need to have a space for the ashes and the air to come under the sticks, wooden sticks which burn. We will thus drill three average holes here. I don't know yet what size. It might be 6 millimeters or 8 millimeters in diameter, and so there must be a space there. So we have still to make a piece of wood which fits there between this front, which is stainless, and between the round cylinder. I already planed a piece of wood down to the sizes so that it is not higher and not wider than the gate, and it's not higher neither. It's exactly at the same level. And I already, because this is round, I already rounded it. Next step is that we insert it and place the round edge exactly that it stays like that, and that it is level in that way. I'm just repeating what I already did. You see a hole, try to imagine that the hole doesn't exist, and then we hold our finger here so that the rounding of the wood is against the beginning of the gate and that the wood doesn't move while we are going to turn this upside down, the whole thing with the wooden block which you hold with your one finger. You turn it upside down, hoping that, yes, look at this. And then remember we had a center hole here. Then we try to center the wood as good or bad as we can, and we mark the center down here. All this we do because we don't know where we have to cut the hollow part of this wooden block. Okay, we have the center. Then we get a piece out, wooden piece, block, and we drill straight down the hole through this little block. And the next step, the logical step, is, of course, the hole should be the size of the diameter of a screw, a decent screw. We put a screw, and there was a center here as well, as you can see, in the round cylinder, and put our screw. We screw the little block to the wooden cylinder in the center. Both centers are now lined up. Next step is to replace this piece with its steel dowel in its place where it should be, and then move this part and align it with our feeding canal so that they are both parallel. So we are going to align, just eyeball and look, is this correct or isn't this correct? After you have done this, you should take this away again, and don't move them anymore. Be very careful, beware, and mark. And we mark here. That's simple. And what we've got now is that we know how big the block should be. We know how long, and we have the exact rounding which we wanted. So we take the screw out again, and we have this. All is waste material. This is the only part which we want to keep, this part. So we have to saw along this line. Therefore we will need, I think, a normal saw or a jigsaw you can use. And I still have to go 90 degrees down here. We have to connect those lines with those at both sides. And it should be square, so we use a square 90 degrees and make sure that it's a 90 degrees line. And the same at the other side. We do exactly the same. Okay. I make a little V because it was not clear which line. Here is only one line, that's not necessary to put a V. We also always put a V to indicate which line is the one we want when we make a little mistake. Next step is, of course, to saw that. I want to try and see if I put it upside down, if I can mark the line of the cylinder as well here, the hollow line. I'm going to try, just out of curiosity, to see if it works. If not, we will just improvise and work by eye. And I see it would work. It certainly would work. Okay, we take it apart again. We make it into a nice round shape. Just correct it a little bit. Now we're going to saw this and leave this part as the part which we use. The other one will be discarded, so we have to saw at this side of the line. This part is discarded. We saw at this side of the line. This part is the one which we want. This part. Now I have to look for my hacksaw. There's my beauty. I already found it. And we will saw. Use protection because the steel claws are very cruel. Still to repair. Okay, attack. We do it roughly, and then do the other side. As simple as that. Do it from both sides. I approach my goal. That's it. Here's our piece, rough made. I still have to pass with a round file, just in case. You will carefully rasp. I didn't find the round file, so I use a rasp very carefully. Okay. Now we will see if it fits. I'm very curious to find out if it fits. This case does fit there. And now I'll have a look if this is what we want. Well, I still have to find a way how to connect that thing so that it stays in place. And I think I will put a dowel as well. That location. Yes, that's what we wanted, and I see it fits. It wants to stay in that place. Seems to work. Yes, looks fine. Will only probably move. I don't think you can see it. Moment. Yes, you can see the block is under the other block, and that means that there will be a hollow space there where there's no insulative material, and there will fall the ashes. We still need to make a grid where the wood can lay on and the ashes fall through. To make the lid, I thought to just insert 3 pins, like we did up here up to hold the pot. Still, like I mentioned before, we need to find a way that these stay in place. And I think I'm going to use a very easy method by drilling a hole here and inserting possibly, no, that's the wrong way, I'm sorry. I will drill the hole, the 3 holes here, one center hole which will be in the center of this gate, in the center here, 1 and 2 at the sides, which will provide air. The center hole will be used to block this piece of wood. This piece of wood will be blocked by a pin or a screw or anything. And that's about it. So we need to make that hole and figure out a screw of the same, to find a screw of the same diameter to be able to fix that little piece of wood. So I don't have any, I don't know how you call them in English, but you need always this kind of nail that is from hard steel, and those nails are used to tap before you drill. I need a hammer, and I will correct this one because this nail is bent. Okay, more or less straight. Then we will mark those holes. I won't work by eye this time. I will have a look how wide our gate is and then exactly do the center. 10, 3.7, 3.8, 38 millimeters. It says it's 38 millimeters wide. So that would be 19. So we make one hole at 19 and exactly in the middle. I wanted it exactly in the middle of this rim. Exactly in the middle. It is 26. That means that I have to make the hole at 13 millimeter. Okay. 26, 13. Does make sense. So we will tap the hole now. Bam. For pre-drilling, pilot drilling, and after that, that's a pity. We have to figure out a way how to be able to tap, because you have to tap on something. You can't just, this is hollow, you can't just tap like that. So we will clamp this piece of oak very firmly in the bench vise, and then slide it over. Now we can tap without a problem. We can make our tap. We will use the nail pick nail and give it a good tap. Okay, that one is done. Now we have to make those two other ones. As we are already making those holes, we just continue. We'll make them all in one time. When you have the pilot drill in your drill, you don't want to stop and then continue with the woodwork. We will make them, the three of them, in one time. Let's say the other two I will make at 30 millimeters from that, both sides. From that one, 30 millimeters. I think that's a good size. One at 30 millimeters to the left and one 30 millimeters to the right. Okay, and again in the middle it was 26, so 13 as well. And we will mark those as well. We slide it over the piece of oak and we will tap with the nail for pre-drilling. Okay, 3 holes are marked. Punch marked. I think it's in English, punch marking. Now we will drill with a very tiny little drill, which I have to find. Where are you? Are you here? This is not. No, we don't have a pilot drill, as my workshop is still not a workshop. I'm just starting, so I should buy some good drills. But I remember we drilled those holes with this hole, so let's give it a try again. Okay, we connect the bastard and then we'll drill those holes. I hope you can see it. I'll let you come a little bit closer, like that you can see better what I am doing. That's better than watching TV. This is my first rocket stove, by the way. Now the next one, the middle one, the most important one. And the last one. Finished. We might drill them bigger, but for the time now, it's more than enough. We marked them. By the way, I forgot, I should have done it much slower, at a slower speed. Otherwise, you will burn your drill bit. It will burn. You need to drill steel and stainless even more at very low speeds. Preferred with some thin oil, machine oil, which the one you use for the hand sewing machines. So we drill those holes, and we need now a little screw. I think the screw would be the best. A little screw. Let's see what we have. Mirror, mirror. Here's the beauty of the land. Doesn't have to be a big one, as our piece is just very. That will be too much. We need a little one. I see I have more here in my collection. Something decent. For example, this one. This one looks okay. Let me see if it fits. It certainly does. Our screwdriver can handle that one. Now we see if it fits as well. The diameter here. It does perfectly. Quite well. And now we will place a piece of wood where it should be, and the wooden cylinder, just out of curiosity, in its place with the hole pointing to the gate, to the feeding hole where the sticks go through, and then put it in the center. We'll look if it's really in the center. It is actually almost 1 millimeter, half millimeter. Yes, it is in the center. I checked it. Now it's in its position. It's in its position, I mean, and it doesn't move. We can now mark. I hope it's marked. Let's have a look. It has marked. As you can see, it's been marked here. It's marked here. Doesn't want to move anymore. This is the hole. And it is more or less in the center, I see. In the center of this 3.6, 18. Yes, it's 18. It's exactly in the middle. We are lucky. Okay, let me see. This was the upside. Now I will clamp it. I will clamp it in the bench vise, and I will drive the screw in already. It's like pre-drilling. Some protection. Where's the other one? Oh. And we will see if the softwood accepts. It's very soft wood. This is a kind of we have to pre-drill it. This won't work otherwise. We'll pre-drill it with a very small drill. A small one. Even though it's soft, I don't want to risk. In fact, I don't want to risk cracking, because it took us time, and it's a pity if it would crack. Now we have to see if this is lined up, if it's straight, clamped straight so that we can drill straight. It has to be clamped straight. Now we pre-drill also straight it should be. It's enough, just a little bit, so that the screw will find its way. Now we take our screw and we will see if it wants to find its way. And it certainly does. Now just continue and I'll see if it's lined up. It is lined up. Always 90 degrees that way, 90 degrees that way. It's perfect. You're lucky again. You drive the screw in completely like that. We know it has found its way. And now back. You see the screwdriver is not completely the same size as the head of the screw. Be careful to always use the correct screwdriver, otherwise you will damage your screwdriver and the screw. Maybe this one. Doubt. Oh no, much better. This is a small one, and this is a small screw head as well. This one is too big. It will damage both. It will damage your screwdriver and the screw head. So we let that one sleep. Next step is driving the screw in. You'll screw that piece in where it belongs. Okay. Okay, that's done. Now we mount this one with a big screw. Well, this is just how to demonstrate. Well, I forgot the plank, of course. And look, now you can see how well it corresponds. That's the part under the gate. Now the only thing is to insert that piece for the feeding canal, and that's all there is to tell about it. Yes, okay, very firm in its place. Now we've got this thing more or less centered. Cylinder. Feeding canal is there as well, and a space under the feeding canal so that the air can go through these holes, the 3 holes can come. After we've removed all these pieces of wood, there will be hollow spaces there. So there in the air holes we still have to drill bigger. I will do that later when the wood stove is already ready and we are trying it. We will experiment. It might be that these holes, which are about, let me see, they are well, I just can have a look. What drill did I use first? I used a drill of 4.2 millimeters. That's a strange size. 4.2 millimeters I used. If those 4.2 millimeter holes, let's say 4 millimeter holes, if these holes would be too small, then we can always drill them bigger. The last step is we will paint or varnish all the wooden parts, which are our molds, our patterns, and then we will make some pins for the grips. I will cut them from stainless steel. This is a stainless steel one, same material which we used for the pins which will go upstairs, remember? I already showed you in the previous video. We will make 3 pins which will go down. I will show you what I mean. 3 pins will form the grid. I hope that will be enough. If not, I always can insert a piece of how do you call it, tin, drilled with many holes. We will remove now the wooden block will be removed. Okay, I just put the screw inside of the thing to not lose it. Now the pins will be inserted in holes which already exist. I'm not sure if these pins are too thin. The stainless pin is diameter 4 millimeters. I will insert the 3 pins this way. For the moment I only have 2 because we didn't cut them, but they will, maybe I can find a third one. No, we don't have a third one. Anyways, I'll cut one so that you can see. Is this 4 millimeter as well? Yes, it's also 4 millimeter. Well, no, I will cut it straight later so that I have the time to cut it at this exact size desired size. I just put 3 pins in this way, and there's missing one here, which also will come there, and they will then be the grid. Nothing more. One in the middle of those two has to come still, and those will be just inserted when the clay is still wet, and then we insert them and pull them out again. Thanks for watching.